Welcome to another one of Sky School's Top Tips episodes. In this video, we're going to be discussing the apps that we prefer to use for planning your cross-country flights and finding out where you can legally fly in the UK and Europe. The first one we have is Sky Demon or Sky Demon Lite. Sky Demon Lite is the free version. It allows you to plot routes and look at NOTAMs, look at airspace, but it doesn't allow you to follow the route in flight. Sky Demon lets you do all of this and lets you fly the routes with your phone, and you can just follow the pink line. So firstly, to plot a route, I'm zooming in here on our area where we train. So I'll plot a route from Banbury to Brackley to Enstone and back to Brackley again. You simply click on each waypoint to plot your route. So you can see here my route passes through Hinton in the Hedges drop zone and a high intensity radio transmission area. Both of these areas are not good for us to fly to, and therefore I can drag the routes to make sure I avoid these areas. To avoid these forbidden areas, you can press and hold on your line and drag it so that your line comes outside of these areas. Also be aware that these areas have height limits, so if you're unable to go around, it is a possibility you can climb much higher than the airspace and fly over it, or in fact under it if it doesn't start at the surface. Make sure you always adhere to your 500-foot rule. That's 500 feet away from people, vehicle, vessels or structures in a 500 feet radius. Now, if at the side I click flight details, I can input the performance of my aircraft. So for a paramotor, generally you'll be cruising at around 1,000 feet. And at a speed roughly of, we can say 20 knots, but again it can vary with your wing, your weight, your size, and what trim setting you're flying. And we can also input a wind speed, so we can say wind is from the north at say 5 knots. Sky Demon will then calculate how long it will take you to fly the route, the distance of the route, and the takeoff and landing time depending on the time you want to input. So Sky Demon is a very powerful app, and it allows you to meticulously plan long cross countries with ease. If you simply want to find out where you can and where you can't fly in the UK, just for local flying, you can simply press and hold on the area where you want to fly in Sky Demon, and it will show you whether you can fly there or not. So for example, I've pressed and hold here, and you can see from 3,500 feet to 4,500 feet, there's Class D airspace. So in this case, I can fly less than 3,500 feet above sea level here and be legal to fly my paramotor, even though looking down on it, it appears as if you're within airspace. I can do the same thing somewhere elsewhere, so just south of Southampton, above 2,000 feet above sea level, I can not fly because there is Class D airspace. However, below this, I can fly freely. You will also see overlaid on the map is NOTAMs. So if I press and hold on one of these NOTAMs, I can see, for example, a parachute jumping exercise is scheduled. And here, if you click on for further details, you can see the exact location, the timings that they're going to operate, and there's often a phone number that you can call, and if the weather is bad for them or they've completed what they needed to do, you may be able to fly. If you give them a call, ask them, and you'll have a good possibility of flying even when the NOTAM is scheduled. The other app we use on Skyweeks especially is Gaggle. Gaggle has some really useful features and it's being constantly updated. Very simply, you can press record at the start of your flight, and you can select your paramotor or paragliding or whatever you're going to fly, and you can then press start recorder, and it shows your location overlaid onto a map very easily with airspace overlaid also. As you can see here, one of the best features about Gaggle is they've incorporated with Safe Sky to show you locations of other aircraft while you're flying. So you can see here all of the other aircraft that are currently flying around Hinton in the Hedges airfield. So while you're using Gaggle, you can see very clearly, there's a plane over there, and you can look out for them and ensure you can keep proper separation. However, not all aircraft carry transponder, and therefore they will not be on here. So it's, as ever, super important to keep a good lookout, and these aircraft will not see you. So it's your job to keep a long way away from them. So you can see here we have a route plotted in Gaggle, and this makes it super easy to follow, and each time you reach a waypoint it automatically directs you to your next waypoint. It also shows you your current speed, the direction the wind is coming from, the wind speed, any airspace and other aircraft nearby. If you click on the little plane symbol, it brings up the registration, speed, distance away from you, and what altitude each of these aircraft are at, so it makes it super easy to avoid them. You can set Gaggle so every 5 minutes or 1 minute or however often you want, an automated voice can read out into your headset your current speed, altitude, the wind direction, your distance and direction back to your takeoff site. So it's super easy. If you don't want to have your phone out during flight, you can hear and get all of this information just through your headset so long as you connect your phone. While you're flying, you can put a Velcro pad on the back of your phone and use one of these GIN flight deck mounts to set your phone on your lap so you can see it without having to hold it the whole time. So you can focus on flying, looking out, rather than holding your phone, and just use it for reference. I hope these tips have been useful. It's very easy just to get Skydemon and get Gaggle. They're both free apps. You can play around with the settings and just experiment with them. It's also possible to export and import other people's routes. So if you want to do a group cross-country, one person can make the route and send it to everyone, and then everyone, while keeping good lookout, can see each other on the app and ensure proper separation from each other, other aircraft, and make sure they don't get lost.